Scotland with Stephen Craigan, Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Rich. Welcome to Ibrox as Rangers aim for a 5th consecutive league win. Danny Rowe looking to become just the 5th Rangers manager to win his first 5 in the league. Well, Falkirk search for a first win at Ibrox in a century in league competition, and they'll rarely have come here with greater belief that they can indeed come away with 3 points. I'll run you through the teams as they both go through the handshakes in the middle of the park just now. It's Jack Butland in goal for Rangers. The back 4 of James Tavernier, Nasser Giga, Manny Fernandez and Max Aarons. Connor Barron and Nico Raskin in midfield. Oliver Antman, Tello Osgar and Nadim Bayrami, who starts for the first time since May, ahead of them, and Bojan Majowski leading the line. For Falkirk, it's Scott Bain in goal. It's the same team that started against Dundee United. Keelan Adams, Liam Henderson, Connor Allen and Philippe Lissa at the back. Brad Spencer and Dylan Tate anchoring the midfield. Karel Wilson, Calvin Miller and Ethan Williams ahead of them, and Brian Graham is the up front for the visitors. Referee here is Stephen McLean, and he is just going through the coin toss with the captains James Tavernier and Brad Spencer. Remember, these sides fought out a 1-1 draw at the Falkirk Stadium back in October, and that was the final nail in the coffin, effectively, of Russell Martin, who departed shortly afterwards, having required an escort to get away from the stadium on that occasion. It is Rangers in their traditional blue tops, white shorts, red and black socks. Falkirk in a change kit of white top, navy shorts and white socks, and it will be the away side to get us off and running here this afternoon as Calvin Miller stands in the centre circle along with Brad Spencer, looking to try and achieve a result to lift them above Rangers up to 4th place. They would go if they were able to get the victory here this afternoon, and we are off and running, and it's Spencer who collects from Miller and out to Adams on this right hand side. Back it goes to Connor Allen, who's kept his place in the back line for Falkirk these last few games after that spectacular goal he scored, solo goal, to really set his name among the Falkirk fans. Rangers have won it back here on the left hand side. It's Aarons for Barron, but he can't find a teammate, and Tate emerges with possession. He is able to get it to Lissa, who scoops it forward, and Falkirk will come down the left hand side with Williams. It's it back again from Miller. Sliding challenge comes in from Giga down that left hand side, almost at the corner flag. Falkirk have taken the throw in quickly. Back to Calvin Miller, and now it's Henderson for Allen on the halfway line, plays it into Spencer, who goes all the way back to Scott Bain, back in the Scotland squad for those last couple of games, and he plays it out to the right hand side for Adams. Falkirk enjoying some early possession as Bayrami looks to close him down. Adams clips it forward rather aimlessly and all the way through to Jack Butland. Stephen Thompson, will come to you first. You know, we watched Rangers kind of rather plod to another, it was a point this time in the Europa League. 4 changes from that one. What are you expecting from them this afternoon?
Well, it's an opportunity, isn't it, for the players that are coming in this afternoon. Clearly, performances haven't been great, but they've been getting results in the league under Danny Rowe, and I think that's the most important thing at this minute in time, is that they keep that going. Ant-Man gets an opportunity today. Bayrami, as you point out, hasn't started a game since May, so it's a big opportunity for these guys, but Falkirk will be up for this game.
They will. We'll get the thoughts of Stephen Craigan just shortly as Rangers pick up on the halfway line with Giga out to Antman right hand side, and now Tavernier playing his 540th game for the club. Back with Giga. He of course got the goal for Rangers in midweek here against Braga from the penalty spot, and that was cancelled out and they couldn't get the better of the 10 men. Here is Fernandez just inside his own half, plays it into Majowski. Not sure what he's trying there, but Spencer picks up the loose ball, and then it's back to Henderson and all the way back to Scott Bain, who sends it out to the left hand side, out of play, which gives me a chance to ask Stephen Craigan. I mentioned that rarely in that century that Falkirk haven't got a league victory here will they have come here in greater belief that they could actually get a victory. And that's, I suppose, testament to the way they've started the season, and I guess to an extent how Rangers have started it.
Yeah, well, it's an intriguing game because you've got a Rangers side who are not too sure what they are or how they want to play or what kind of style they have, Alistair. Whereas you've got a Falkirk team full of confidence, full of belief. They've been together for quite a while, a lot of continuity over the last 2 or 3 years. They know what they're trying to do and they know what they want to do. So if they can impose themselves in the game, they've got a real chance this afternoon. I wouldn't say to cause an upset, but certainly to win.
Here's Barron driving forward. Williams trying to get back at him. Antman takes over right hand side at the angle of the box. He's done well. He tumbles and wins a free kick right on the angle of the box there on that right hand side, and it's a decent position this for an early free kick for Rangers.
Yeah, it is that, Al. I mean, it was good play from Connor Barron, driving with the ball, knocks it off to Antman, and he comes in the pitch, which you see him doing so often, and into bodies. I thought he'd got it wrong, but then he manages to nick it through a couple of those bodies, and one of them stuck a leg out, and it gives James Tavernier an opportunity to put this into the box. Really good chance for Rangers early on.
Let's see what they can make of it. Manny Fernandez is a particular threat in the air here. Scored last weekend against Livingston, the opening goal. They're looking to do likewise here. Tavernier a couple of yards to the right of the penalty area, and it comes from the captain. It's a decent ball. Bain gets a good couple of fists to that to knock it clear, and Wilson picks up, shows better strength than Bayrami forward to Miller, but he's dispossessed by Aarons in the halfway line. Tavernier, and then Fernandez back to Barron, who's sat deep there. He plays it to his left to Giga. 4 minutes in, no goals. Remember, we've got Livingston Aberdeen as a 3 o'clock kick-off. We'll keep you up to date with goals as they go in there in the second half of this one. Hibs 1, Celtic 2 earlier on as Oscar picks it out to the left hand side. It's Bayrami with an opportunity here to try and impress his manager. Seems to have done so in training of late, as Barron has it now 25 yards from goal, gets a bit of room. Shots never going to really trouble Scott Bain. Didn't catch it. It was a good opening for him, certainly worth a try, but Scott Bain down to his right comfortably gathers. Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, it's good play by Rangers. I think they've probably settled a little bit better than what Falkirk have. Falkirk giving the ball away quite cheaply, and a lot of the play has been in the Falkirk half. So Rangers feeling good about themselves, but that shot from Connor Barron, he's not really famed for scoring many goals, certainly from that kind of distance. So yes, he has the shot, but probably a little bit ambitious.
Tavernier forward into Majowski. Incidentally, Chermiti is ill and not in the squad. There's Osgar out to Bayrami inside the penalty area, left hand side. Can he pick out a teammate? It's a good ball in, and Majowski goes down, and it's offside is the ultimate decision there, as Bain made the challenge on Majowski. I don't think Majowski get anything on the ball. It was a decent ball in from Bayrami. Falkirk survived that particular attack, but as Stephen Craigan has said, Stephen Thompson, Rangers probably starting the brighter of the two.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on that occasion there, I mean, it wasn't a particular, I don't know whether it's a shot or a cross that came in, and it seemed to me like Connor Allen just seemed to leave the ball. I don't know whether he got a shout from Bain in goals, but it comes through to Majowski, who manages to get a wee toe to it, up and over the bar, but it wouldn't have counted because Majowski just drifted into an offside position.
6 minutes in then, and Falkirk have the dead ball here from inside their own penalty area as Bain knocks it long. Fernandez climbs highest to win that. Allen likewise heads it forward. Graham trying to keep it in but can't do so, and it's out for a throw into Rangers on their left hand side, taken by Aarons, who's again preferred to Magoma at left back. Magoma obviously the more natural on this left hand side for Rangers, but Aarons gets the shout. Giga for Raskan, and now Tavernier right hand side, still well inside his own half. Back to Giga and then to Butland, who produced some excellent saves again on Thursday to help his side's cause. Aarons now coming in off the left hand side, plays it square to Giga just outside his own penalty area, comes forward a few yards and plays it short to Barron, who looks up now and looks for Osgar over the top. Adams is keeping pace with him. Osgar with a slight touch there, and the referee says it's enough to give Falkirk the free kick, and as Tomo is hinting at there, it was a pretty needless bit of contact there from Osgar, and it, when Falkirk were under pressure there, and all of a sudden it's alleviated.
Yeah, I mean, you know, probably Connor Allen knocks out for a corner, or you've certainly got them kind of boxed in down in that kind of bottom area. It was a fabulous ball from Connor Barron over the top, and a good run from Asgard, but there's no need to pull the defender back there.
But I think that's something Rangers probably have to do a little bit more of. it's not really what Raskan and Conor Ban are all about. It's trying to play the longer pass in behind, particularly against teams who are wanting to try and squeeze the game. You've got to mix it up.
Graham's wanting to flick on for Miller. Back goes Giga. It's a good jump that from Brian Graham. Manny Fernandez will know that he's in for a battle there in the air against the veteran striker, and Falkirk have got themselves a corner kick here on the right hand side as Giga knocks it out to deny Miller the initial opening, but you'll have an opportunity here from the right hand side, and we know he's got good delivery with the left foot. Former Celtic youth player here swings it towards the back post. First contact there is made by Osgar, out for a throw-in over on the far side. I must say, Tomo, that I don't think you on Sports Scene made nearly enough of Calvin Miller's through ball for the third Falkirk goal. I thought it was absolutely sublime bit of skill to execute it the way he did last week.
Sorry about that, Alistair.
It's okay, I'll let you off this time. Rangers clear the lines, and Liam Henderson tries to knock it back to Scott Bain, who's scampering over there. He won't keep it in, no, and Rangers have got the corner now over on the right hand side. And all of a sudden Falkirk under pressure, having had a corner of their own just a moment ago.
Really needless and slack from Falkirk. They're normally very, very good in possession of the ball, but you know, as Craggs was saying at the start of this game, they've been a wee bit loose in possession.
9 minutes in, no goals, but Rangers with the corner kick here on the right hand side. A good Falkirk support has made the trip through just behind James Tavernier as he prepares to take this corner kick. Barron lurking at the edge of the area. What will Rangers work here? With their new set piece coach in the building. What's he been working on? Tavernier onto the penalty spot. It was a good jump though by Henderson to knock it clear, and Barron picks up midway inside the Falkirk half. Now it's Aarons into the box once more. Again it's Henderson who wins it. Bayrami goes back to Barron once more, out to the right hand side for Antman this time. Crosses from deep. This time it's won by Brian Graham. Miller will flick it on, but only to Bayrami. Back with Aarons once more. Rangers keeping Falkirk hemmed in these early stages. 10 minutes in almost, but still no goals as Barron has it in the centre circle. Just to his right is Aarons. Aarons has it now over on the opposite side from which he's actually playing the game. Barron forward under a bit of pressure. Antman gets it back to Barron. He tries to sneak it through, but it's been stolen, and Falkirk can come forward here through Tate on the halfway line. Gets it back from Wilson. Dylan Tate just holds play up and gets it to his right hand side to Wilson once more. He tries to tease it in towards the edge of the box, high up in the air from Giga. Fernandez helps it on. Tate with a slightly loose pass back the way. Allen will pick it up, tries to knock it down the line, but it's out of play. Rangers throw in. We've played 10.5 minutes at Ibrox. It's Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, it's just something I noticed, Al, that every time Rangers get a set play or there's a set play against Rangers, the set play coach comes out to the touchline and he actually takes control of the situation, and Danny Rule comes back. So he's clearly given that power to dictate an awful lot. So the players are actually looking to the set play coach to see what's going to happen and what's going to take place.
Giga has it just outside his penalty area. To his right is Tavernier, gets it back from him. Giga into the feet of Raskan, who swivels away there from Calvin Miller. Arrows it out to the left hand side. Bayrami won't catch it though. Decent idea, and just a couple of yards too far ahead of Bayrami. It's out for a throw in down below.
It's got to be better. I mean, his turn's good. He takes the ball off the centre halves and drives with it, but you know, the execution has to be better. It wasn't that difficult a pass out here to the left hand side to Bayrami.
Keelan Adams with the throw in into Tate, who hoists it forward. Graham though beaten by Fernandez. Osgar will pick up, and on the left hand side it's Raskan. Applause ringing around the stadium as a little girl, 11-year-old Rangers fan, tragically lost her life just recently, and the Rangers fans recognising that with a round of applause on the 11th minute. So sad. Antman giving chase, but Lisa's first to it, back to Bain, who clears. Miller helps it on here to Tate, and now it's Wilson picking up in the centre circle. Good ball out to the left hand side for Williams. Williams making good headway down that left hand side, cuts it back for Calvin Miller. Calvin Miller with the attempted shot, blocked by Giga, breaks out to Bayrami at the edge of the box, and he finds Aarons, who's clipped there by Tate, and it'll be a free kick to Rangers. But that was a half a chance for Calvin Miller. It was cut back to him. A good counter by Falkirk there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good down the left-hand side from Williams, and the pick-out was excellent. The cut back to Miller, I just felt he kind of dithered on it a wee bit too long. Once he'd taken his touch, I felt as though he could get his shot away earlier, and he just took an extra couple of seconds, which allowed Rangers to get out and get the block on it.
And I think that's something you might see quite a lot of this afternoon, is Falkirk trying to play on the counter-attack. They haven't really got a foothold in the game as such yet. Brad Spencer's been minimally involved in the game. He's the one player that makes them tick over, so if he's not getting on the ball, they're going to have to rely on both full-backs for overlapping runs in the counter-attacking play.
Aaron's giving the ball away cheaply there. Falkirk give it back, and it's Henderson. Danny Rose immediately urging his players to press to try and get it back, but Falkirk are playing round them. It's Spencer on the ball, the captain. Through the middle it goes for Wilson. Strong challenge, that one from Fernandez. A fair one in the referee's eyes as it's picked up by Antman in a central area. Pokes it through for Majolski, gets turned, but then Allen recovers, but he's giving it straight to Osgar. He goes for goal and he scoops it well over the top. So a poor attempt really in the end by Osgar. Antman complaining he was fouled. I think Wilson thought he was fouled at the other end of the park. Ultimately it's going to be a goal kick to Falkirk. Played almost 14 minutes, and again, you talk about the Raskan pass a minute ago. Tom Osgar's got to do better than hit that well over the top from 20 odd yards. As Falkirk try and come forwards, but it's gone out for a throw in.
Yeah, I mean, I felt it was a foul by Majowski on the centre half anyway. Probably wouldn't have counted because of that, but yeah, I mean, from what it was, 22, 23 yards out, should be doing better with the effort on goal. Scooped high over the bar.
It's kind of hard to know what strengths Oscar has, because he just kind of drifts through games and looks really casually involved in the game. But the physique that he has, he should be an awful lot better.
That's a good bit of play from Bayrami. Now it's Raskan coming forward. He goes down. He just lost control of the ball. He's claiming he was fouled, but I don't think he was at all. He just lost control as Spencer picks up on the edge of his own box and gets it out to the right to Dylan Tate, who gets the head up and clips it forwards, but out of play. That's poor from him. Certainly capable of better than that as Wilson tried to go down the right hand side. Rangers throw in just inside their own half. Aarons to take. Almost quarter of an hour played. No goals. No real threat for either goalkeeper to deal with. Calvin Miller with a shot charge down inside the Rangers box. Possibly the best opening of the game, as Aarons has it left hand side here, just inside his own half. Short ball for Bayrami, he's barged into by Keelan Adams, and a free kick goes Rangers' way, just in front of Danny Rowell's technical area. Taken back the way to Fernandez and square to Giga now. Giga up towards the halfway line, into the feet of Antman, who's dropped off. Goes back to Raskan, just inside his own half, out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Tavernier back again to Giga, who just flicks it between his legs and then plays it to his left to Barron. Barron out to his left to Bayrami, hugging the touchline here. Wilson facing him up into Osgar. Middle of the park, Raskan and then Fernandez. Rangers looking to knock it about and create an opening here. Raskan scoops out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Not a great first touch, but manages to keep it in play. Just about keeps control of it and then knocks it back to Antman, midway inside the Falkirk half. Back to Giga. Square for Barron. Barron middle of the park here, out to the left hand side for Aarons. Bayrami forward looking for Aarons, but it wasn't a great pass, and Wilson had tracked it and knocks it out of play. Rangers throw in about 20 yards or so from the corner flag on the left hand side.
I think Rangers just lack a creative spark. It's pass, 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 pass. There's nobody in the pitch really for Rangers who can eliminate an opponent with a dribble or make something spectacular happen. It's all very predictable.
Yeah, Spencer's won it back for Falkirk. Fernandez sticks a good boot in though, and Aarons then tries to find Osgar, but it's picked up instead by Tate, who'll come forward and will release Calvin Miller. Miller sprinting, but Giga's fast as well and gets there ahead of him, and then turns and plays it to Fernandez. Giga culpable at the Braga equaliser the other night, but really there are no other centre-back options of any great standing for Danny Rowell at the moment. Clinton Ciala is on the bench again this afternoon, as he was last weekend. He hasn't had a look in this season, and with Suter and Cornelius out injured, Cornelius for a significant spell it would appear, then Giga and Fernandez are the pretty much automatic picks. Here's Adams for Falkirk, right hand side. 17 minutes on the clock, no goals between Rangers and Falkirk as Graham chases it down the right. Barron with him, he knocks it back in field, he's given it straight to Raskin. I don't know why Raskin couldn't have turned and played forward there. Instead he goes back to Fernandez, but now he's got it back and now he lifts it forward down the right hand side to Antman. Antman with a decent touch up against Lisa here. Can he take him on? Spencer's over there to help. Still Antman driving into the penalty area. He goes down again, but there was no foul there, and Lisa emerges with possession and then plays it forward. It's a slack ball though, and Rangers have it back in the halfway line with Giga. Giga forward to Osgaard. Poor control from him, but he's battled to win it back. Barron now for Bayrami. Wilson comes back with him. Bayrami spins away from him and comes back to the halfway line to Manny Fernandez. In the centre circle, coming forward into the feet of Miovski, who scored the opening goal against Falkirk at the Falkirk Stadium earlier in the season. Hasn't probably made the impact he would have hoped, or certainly the Rangers fans would have hoped either, since his summer move. As Tavernier picks up on the right hand side, you could say that about quite a number of the Rangers summer signings.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Oh yeah.
Barron out to Aaron's left hand side. Bayrami's further left. Here he is, closed down by Adams, but moves away from him. Bayrami just tries to curl it in, looking for Majowski. Henderson no in front of him, comes to Osgar, edge of the box, wants a lot of time there, but he manages to get it back to Aaron's. Get time now to measure his next move. Plays a 1-2 with Bayrami. Then it's Fernandez, quickly closed down by Miller, but the pass off to Giga. 19 in, 0-0 as Barron has it for Rangers in the centre of the park. Hassled by Graham, but gets it back to Giga, into Tavernier. Again, it's not a great touch, and he just knocks it forward rather aimlessly. Falkirk pick up, but really can't keep it, as Fernandez shows good strength to win it back again for Rangers. Now Raskin, neat ball forward for Tavernier. Tavernier central area, 30 from goal, into the feet of Asgar. Asgar could have played Bayrami into the left, eventually holds it up and plays it to Aarons. Aarons on the left foot, back post ball. Antman's downward header is wide of goal, and Rangers pass up a decent opportunity, but Osgar had just slipped in Bayrami. I thought that was the better option, but it's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
It probably sums them up, doesn't it? Rangers making the wrong choices at the wrong times. Good possession, having to be patient, waiting for their opportunity to arrive, and then it's that killer pass. The final thing you do with the ball has to be so much better.
Falkirk play forward here. Graham gets it back to Calvin Miller on the right hand side, coming forward. Good challenge by Raskin, but Adams is there to help out. Raskin makes another good challenge though and wins it back for the home side. Into Barron it goes, midway inside his own half, looking for options. Tavernier's there, that's where it goes, and then back in field to Fernandez. Still midway inside his own half, but coming up towards the halfway line. Back in field to Giga. We've played 20 minutes, no goals here. 2-1 Celtic at Easter Road earlier in the day. Livingston Aberdeen to come at 3 o'clock as it goes out to Antman right hand side. Back to Tavernier on the halfway line, and back in field to Giga. Giga for Fernandez, and Osgar comes and picks up possession out to Aarons. He's in a well advanced position, steps away there from Adams, then nudges it back, so not a great lay off, but Raskin will pick up. Forward for Barron, tries the little flick for Aarons, and then it comes back, and Barron gets in a tangle with Dylan Tate and he fouls him, and Falkirk will have the free kick at the edge of the area. And as Stephen Craigan saying, Tomo, Rangers do just lack, I mean, Osgard's playing as the 10, but he's not got that kind of, he doesn't really seem to have the inventiveness, the flair to pick a defence open.
No, there's a lack of imagination across the whole side really, and yes, they're keeping the ball well, and Falkirk are staying in their shape and making it difficult for Rangers, but there has to be more quality when they get into the kind of final third areas to be able to kind of move Falkirk's shape, and it's just, to me, it just seems like they run out of ideas.
Particularly in the wide areas. You know, we were speaking earlier, Tom, about previous Rangers teams and the players they had in wide areas with the pace and the creativity, and how direct they were. Antman wants to come inside, Bayrami's playing on the left hand side, but probably wants to play as a number 10. So Rangers are so narrow, they're so easy to play against. And
the other element of that is that Jedi Gassama, who for me has been their most dangerous player this season, he was played on the right hand side, but I feel like he's less effective anyway. On Thursday did okay, now he's on the bench today. For me, he should be on the left hand side. He's clearly been the Rangers' best player this season so far. The one possession back in their own territory, and now they spring forward through Tavernier. Osgar just holding it up, he could have played in Majowski, Is he taken down, or is it a slip? It's a foul. But again, he could have slipped in Majowski. Maybe he thought he was offside. Don't think he was. But I don't know why he doesn't just slip him in.
He's got Majowski, he's got Bayrami out wider on the left, but his head's down, he's dribbling, he sees the opportunity himself. Eventually he is fouled, but 2 seconds before he is fouled, there was a pass out to Majowski that would have sent him clean through.
But you know what, it's the ideal scenario for Rangers, because Falkirk have been deep and they've been hard to play against, they've been congested. They have a counter-attack, suddenly the play opens up, Rangers have the opportunity to go and play that killer pass. That's what we're talking about. They don't have a player who can see it or execute it.
Tavernier then with a free kick midway inside the Falkirk half central area, as Rangers look for the opening goal. Certainly been the dominant side as Tavernier sends it into the area. Brian Graham wins it, Calvin Miller helps it on at the edge of the box. Aarons will come and collect and just knock it forward. Osgar, can he bring it under control here on the left hand side? Holds off Adams on the left flank. It's Osgar, little step over away from Miller. Now he sends it in, it's not a great ball. Allen defends it pretty comfortably and Williams helps it on for Graham, but Giga gets there first, but he can only knock it forwards, and then Lisa knocks it out of play over on the far side. John McGlynn at the edge of his technical area. I don't think he'll be altogether, as much as they're holding Rangers out, he'll not be altogether satisfied, because Falkirk really haven't found their rhythm yet.
On the ball they've been disappointing. You know, defensively, yes, they're looking solid, but when they have won the ball back, you're expecting more. There's been a couple of occasions where Miller's had it and taken it for a run and lost it, and you know, you're expecting better from them in possession. Certainly they showed that last week up at Tannadice. Just maybe hurrying things a wee bit for me.
Fernandez forward for Osgar into Barron just inside the Falkirk half, quickly out to the right hand side to Tavernier. Tavernier sends a terrible ball way behind Scott Bain's goal. Poor delivery, had a few poor deliveries from set pieces as well on Thursday. It's not usually something you can level at the Rangers captain, but that was another poor cross when he was in a decent position. As Falkirk take the goal kick, and it's Allen knocking it forward for Graham, who's pinned there I think by Fernandez. He knows a bit of it doing that himself, Brian Graham, as Fernandez now gets it to Aarons and then back to Giga just inside his own half, tries the big diagonal out towards Antman. It's a rather floaty effort, and Lisa's able to step in and head it to Williams here on the halfway line. Turns back and now will come forward. Miller out to the Falkirk left, but cut out by Tavernier. Majowski for Antman. Majowski, lazy kind of pass there from Majowski's intercepted. If Rangers fans didn't like that, Tavernier's got it back. Now it's Antman right hand side, tries to step away from the challenge there on that right flank. Gets it into Raskan, who wins one challenge and then gets it to Tavernier. Barron now in a crowded space, comes off a Falkirk foot according to the officials, and Rangers will have the throw. And we've played just over 25 minutes, still no goals, and the Rangers fans is by far not a sellout this afternoon, but a little bit of restlessness I sense, I guess, as there has been for most of the season here, as Bayrami touches the ball down. He's looking to just play it first time there for Aarons. It went straight to a Falkirk player, but it's out for a Rangers throw-in.
Well, it's interesting, Al, you spoke about restlessness and apprehensive with regards to Rangers fans. That's what John McGlynn said in his pre-match interview. That's what he wants to put the Rangers fans into, and then his team can potentially grow from there.
Here's Tavernier, right hand side. Antman picks up. Again, it's a terrible pass from Antman this time, trying to cut it back into the path of Tavernier. Falkirk pick up possession and can try and come forwards here. Barron is brushed aside by Dylan Tate. Tate looks up and then spins back in. Keelan Adams had made a good run there. I think it was the one that Tomo was looking for him to play, but didn't happen. But Falkirk retained possession on the halfway line. It's Spencer who plays it out to the right hand side to Allen. Allen square to his defensive partner Liam Henderson. Forward for Spencer once more, tries to step away from Antman, which he does successfully, and then Lisa out to Miller on the left hand side up against Tavernier, midway inside the Rangers half, right out on that touchline. Back to Lisa it comes, and then Henderson. Better possession this for Falkirk. Can they do something with it? Adams back to Allen once more. Osgar comes to press him. Spencer under pressure there from Barron, goes back to Scott Bain at the edge of his own penalty area. Rangers nil, Falkirk nil, 27 in. Out to Miller. It's a good pick out from Bain. No pressure on the ball there as Graham plays it to Lisa, just about 10 yards inside the Rangers half. Fernandez with the header clear. Rascan will tidy up for Aarons. Aarons spins away and then he's put under pressure from Graham, who knocks it out of play. And it will be a Rangers throw in midway inside their own half. Pretty uninspiring stuff from both sides, you'd have to say, in the opening phase of the game.
I think Falkirk had a little bit of the ball there. I think you have to recognise when you go long. You know, they're playing and playing, they're trying to draw Rangers towards. When the minute Rangers step up the pitch, that's when you got to look to throw it in behind for Williams or Wilson or Calvin Miller. Don't always just go back to your goalkeeper and allow Rangers to come right up the pitch.
Giga for Fernandez, quickly on to Rascan, who's dropped in as a third centre back just for the moment. Plays it to Bayrami and then picks up possession once more just inside his own half. Fernandez for Osgar on the halfway line. Rangers need a bit of a spark here as Bayrami has it left hand side. Back into Osgar and now for Rascan. Rascan looks ahead and finds Antman, who's come well in the pitch, forward for Barron, who steps back the way, looking to try and get the pass out to the right hand side. Instead he slips it through for Antman. Antman back in field once more. Is he taken down by Spencer? No, referee says play on. Nothing doing there as Dylan Tate has it. He's looking for options. He's now pressurised by Barron. Gets it back again from Adams. Wilson back to Dylan Tate. He goes down. Didn't look to be much in that either.
He absolutely bought that. He knew the contact was coming from Barron and threw himself. The earlier one with Antman, I think it's actually a good refereeing from Stevie McLean. I don't know if there was a touch, and I don't think there was, and he goes down. He let the play continue, but yeah.
If there wasn't a touch, then Antman's probably a bit fortunate he doesn't get booked. But it's a free kick to Falkirk on the halfway line, right hand side. Spencer switches play out to Lisa. Lovely ball from the Falkirk captain onto the left fullback's thigh. Kills it and then plays it to Henderson, and now it's Allen on the halfway line into Lisa, who's moved centrally for the moment. Henderson once more, again back to Allen just inside his own half, out to the right hand side for Tate. Tate down that right flank for Adams in an advanced roll. Lifts it over the head of Aarons, but out comes Butland, who's barely touched the ball this afternoon, and grabs that one and immediately looks to try and release someone, but there's no real options on for him, so he just goes short to Giga, then gets it back and into Fernandez, who plays it square to Giga. Half an hour in here at the Rangers at Ibrox Stadium. It's
Are you looking for the name of the stadium there? Do you forget?
It's not one I'm used to saying, obviously.
They just lack inspiration, Rangers, don't they?
Just said that, and then they can't say Ibrox after that, so you just messed it up.
That's horrible, Tomo.
Yeah.
Thanks for flagging that, Tomo.
I loved it. I mean, there's not a lot else to flag in the game, so you may as well flag that.
0-0 then, half an hour in, as Fernandez has it for Giga just inside the Rangers half. Tavernier into the feet of Majowski, just lays it for Rascan. Better football. Barron forward, just he can't keep a hold of it though, as he tried to step away from the challenge, and Spencer picks up, and now it's Williams going back the way to Henderson. At the edge of his box it's Connor Allen, who's actually signed from Rangers, immediately went out on loan to Kelty, but former Rangers youth player. Here he is in possession, just knocking it back to Scott Bain. And now Liam Henderson at the edge of his own penalty area, out to the left hand side for Lisa, immediately forward looking for the run of Williams, but Tavernier will just see that back to Jack Butland, who hammers it high down the right. Can't see that staying in play. No, out for a throw in over on the far side.
Tom, I think you said in your first answer when Al asked you, you mentioned something about the players coming in, they've got a chance to show the manager what they can do.
Yeah.
Majowski, no. Antman, no. Bayrami, no.
Yeah.
Osgaard, no. So, you know, when can you go and show your best? You're playing at home against Falkirk. You should be dominating the game, you should be bright, you should be alert, you should be high energy. There's nothing, it's so flat and laboured.
There's no zest in the game at all, and I think, you know, when Rangers are playing at home, over the years you're generally used to seeing them create chance after chance, and Scott Bain's he's had one save from Connor Barron. It wasn't really, you know, it was half a save. There's not been enough pressure on the Falkirk goal.
Aarons steps away from Wilson just inside his own half, then knocks it back to Fernandez, but you can hear the Rangers fans definitely beginning to grow weary of what they're seeing out there with 32 minutes in the clock. Here's Antman, right hand side, comes back the way, and now it's Tavernier, back to Antman, again it's back to the halfway line. I know they want to build play and go from side to side, but it has to be with some sort of purpose. Here's Bayrami trying to get away from Adams. Adams got a crucial touch there, out for a throw-in as Bayrami tried to step away from him. Aarons to take the throw-in, well advanced here down the left-hand side into the feet of Osgar. Osgar turns away from Tate, again he goes back the way to Giga, and it's square for Fernandez. Fernandez now turns away from Miller under a bit of pressure, plays to Giga all the way back to Butland.
They're not doing anywhere near enough, are they? You know, they're quite happy to pass the ball off to someone else to try and play that killer pass or take that risk. And when the fans start getting agitated, I think the players get nervous, so they take less risks. They just always play safe, safe, safe. There's no penetration, there's no movement, very static, easy to play against.
Are we seeing anything better here than the Rangers fans witnessed under Russell Martin at the start of the season?
Well, I mean, if Rangers go on and win this game 1-0, you say again, right, they didn't play well, and they've got yet another win in the league under Danny Rule, but the performance level isn't there. But I'm not sure you can get the performance level with the players that are here at the club. So that's difficult to change, I think, for Danny Rule until he gets an opportunity where he can bring in a better calibre of player.
I mean, we'll never know, but I would love to hear his thoughts on what he really thinks with regards to what he has. He always has to try and protect the players, but deep down with his traffic light system, he must have a real honesty about him, because his players are miles away probably from how he sees his team being, Al.
There was another really poor bit of play from Osgaard as we were discussing that. He just overran the ball under no real pressure. I mean, he came into this club with a quite high profile. A lot was expected of him, and he certainly hasn't delivered. I mean,
well, for a number 10, I think you look at number 10s and you say, right, create. What did he create? Did he get efforts on goal? You look
assists,
at him and
goals.
You look at him and you say, right,
basics.
He doesn't get shots off. Generally, is he assisting? Is he creating things? No. When he receives the ball, usually he just pops it back into Raskin or Barron. So he doesn't do enough for me as a 10.
I guess the problem for Rangers is also going to be that if they are looking to move players on, they're not going to recoup a lot of what they spent in the summer if they're trying to shift those players. Here's Antman trying to change the dynamic here, but he's poked that straight out of play for a goal kick as he tried to find Tavernier.
No, the other problem you've got, Al, you're talking about moving players on. Player doesn't want to move on, he's not moving on. These guys will have 2-3 year contracts on 10-20,000 a week. As if you're going to just go, right, I think I'll move somewhere for less money. So that's another issue that Rangers will have if they're trying to kind of get these players out and bring new players into the club.
Is that not a problem they've had for the last 3 or 4 years, where they've been stuck with players, Al, they can't get rid of, and they have to try and, was it last summer? Not summer there, summer before, where they paid so many players off, like Cantwell and Connor Goldson. They had to pay up their contracts almost to get rid of them.
Yeah, it has been an issue over a number of years. I think Goldson I don't think came under that bracket. I think he was signed by was it Aris Limassol he went to. Tavernier down under a challenge there on that left hand side from Brian Graham, I think.
Yeah, it was. It's just one of those ones where the defender's going to clear it, it's sitting up in the air, and Brian Graham tries to nick it. From here it's the opposite side of the pitch, so we can't tell how much contact was made, but Stephen McLean happy not to book him. He's back up on his feet.
So free kick to Rangers. We've played 36.5 minutes. It's Rangers 0, Falkirk 0, and chances have been, I was going to say few and far between, but virtually non-existent would be a more accurate way of describing it, as Aarons overhits a ball forward for Bayrami as well. And as you're saying, Craig, the atmosphere is going to get more and more difficult to play in, as Majowski just about wins the ball from Henderson. Well, Henderson manages to get the pass off. The Rangers fans feel perhaps that Majowski was dragged down, but I think if he had just stayed on his feet, he probably could have nicked the ball off Henderson rather than going down pretty easily and looking for a penalty, as Raskin is penalised for his challenge on Calvin Miller. Well, the Rangers fans will boo, but
it's not a penalty. I completely agree with you. He'd got goal side of the defender after the mix-up, the mistake. just go for it then after he tries to kind of buy the foul and tries to kind of initiate contact with the centre half. I could see from here it wasn't a penalty kick.
I think there was contact from Liam Henderson, but he wasn't pulling the jersey is what Miofsky is gesticulating towards the referee. He wasn't pulling your jersey.
That's given away by Allen. Osgaard steps in. Allen manages to redeem himself by sliding in and just gets enough of the ball for the referee to allow play to continue. And here come Falkirk down the left hand side. Lisa forward. Brian Graham's not going to catch that. I'm not sure he'd have caught that in his heyday, far less in his 39th year. And well, the Rangers fans maybe not happy with the officials, but I don't think actually Stephen McLean's got any of those decisions wrong.
No.
As Barron knocks it back to Butland. Now it's Fernandez stepping away from Graham and back to Giga on the edge of his box, out to the right hand side. Danny Rule hasn't been afraid to make changes at half time if things aren't going the way he intends, as Tavernier plays another wayward pass. And I wouldn't be all that surprised if we see a couple of changes at the interval as he looks for some sort of spark from his team. Falkirk looking to play out here as Spencer just plays it back to Bain. We've got 6.5 minutes left in the first half. Rangers 0, Falkirk 0. Remember, it was Hibs 1, Celtic 2 earlier in the day, and Livingston, Aberdeen to come. As Allen turns back the way under pressure from Osgar, and he's just knocked out of play. And John McGlynn's furious down there. I mean, Falkirk are renowned for their composure and their ability to play out from the back and keep the ball, but they haven't really shown that today. But they have held firm against Rangers as Bayrami now picks up midway inside the Falkirk half, plays it to his right to Raskan. Raskan looks to his right where Tavernier picks up. He's closed down though and dispossessed by Williams, and Williams now brings it forward. Miller ahead of him, he's the only option, and he's going to play it to him. Fernandez trying to get back. Can Miller get the better of him on the left foot perhaps? Miller trying to take him on the outside, on the right. Back comes Aarons, makes the challenge. Down goes Miller, he claims, but again no chance that was going to be a penalty, and Rangers pick up possession and can try and move forward here. Falkirk have committed men forward. Can Rangers capitalise on that? Antman for Barron, still inside his own half. Majowski's looking for it over the top here. Lisa makes a good intervention, and then Henderson helps him out, and Majowski can't get onto it. Still Rangers looking to put pressure on Falkirk at the back, but on this occasion Falkirk do retain their composure and do play around them. And Spencer brings it out to the right hand side to Adams. Adams with a good first touch, looking to get away from Bayrami. Bayrami with a good bit of backtracking though to dispossess him. And now the Albanian international accelerates over a halfway line. Oh, that's really cynical from Dylan Tate, and Bayrami's furious. It will be a yellow card as Brian Graham steps in, and ultimately Bayrami's down on the deck. I don't think there was really enough to do that, but to be fair to Nadine Bayrami, that was a brilliant run from him, and super cynical from Dylan Tate to take him out of play. But it's one of those inverted commas good yellow cards that you sometimes hear about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a very crude challenge, but it was probably one, if you're his teammate, that's a good one, because Bayrami had done so well, as you rightly point out, drifted past 2 or 3 players. It had opened right up for them, and it was as cynical a challenge as you'll ever see. Definitely a yellow card. I wondered for a second if Stephen McLean was looking for his other pocket there, but there wasn't enough malice in it. But a really cynical challenge.
Yeah, there's lots of intent though. There's lots of intent to bring him down. I think that's one of the ones, if the referee gave a red card, VAR would just say, just let it sit. It's a stupid tackle, but we've waited 40 minutes for Bayrami to change gear, and he runs away from people, Al. That's what he's got.
Well, exactly. He shows that he is capable of it, but he shows it so seldom. Here's Tavernier with the free kick into the penalty area. It's a Falkirk head that gets to it first. There may have been a handball actually by Williams. No,
chest. Williams
gets it clear to Wilson. Bayrami though there to knock it back into the penalty area. Falkirk get it clear once more. Tate goes down, claiming he was pushed by Bayrami. John McGlynn's just telling Dylan Tate just to calm down. He's on a yellow card now, of course, after that foul on Bayrami. Rangers have the throw in here on the left hand side. At last the Rangers fans have had something to get a little bit excited about, as Raskan takes the throw into Majowski, back to Raskan and then on to Bayrami. He tries to link with Majowski, but Falkirk win it back into the feet of Brian Graham. He's lost out to Raskan. Osgar helps it on to Antman. He tries to get it back to Osgar. And now to the left-hand side for Bayrami. Steps between 2 and 3. Brilliant again from Bayrami. Can he find the finish? Just wide. But all of a sudden, Nadeem Bayrami has sprung to life. And he's not too far away from the opening goal after a wonderful bit of trickery to move away from 3 Falkirk players. But the curling finish just wide of Scott Bain's post, and it's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
Well, it's a piece of individual brilliance, isn't it? It's the one thing that Rangers have lacked. He's came to life because he was brought down with a cynical foul, and he's angry, he's frustrated. He was at Dylan Tate again, so it's added an edge to his game. That's exactly what you want to do. If you're a player coming into the team, you want to show the manager what you're all about. He's shown a couple of little glimpses, but he's got to show a hell of a lot more.
Goal kick has managed to be kept in by Brian Graham, who now plays it forward for Calvin Miller. Calvin Miller will chase. Jack Butland comes out his goal and gathers that, though. We've got just a couple of minutes left in this first period. Calvin Miller trying to prevent Butland releasing the ball. Eventually gets it to Fernandez. Fernandez in for Majowski, but again he's lost out as Spencer picks up, and now it's Miller. Miller to his right to Wilson. Wilson into the channel there for Adams. Across comes Fernandez, just pokes it out for a throw-in down near the corner flag on Falkirk's right as they attack. Still goalless at Ibrox Stadium as Rangers have certainly looked the more likely, but nonetheless haven't really troubled Scott Bain in the Falkirk goal. No particular hurry here for Keelan Adams to take this throw in right hand side. Eventually he's into the feet of Tate. Oh, that's a lovely back heel. Adams, right hand side of the Rangers box. Calvin Miller, can he curl one? Fernandez with a clearing header. Tate picks up, and now the offside flag is up. I wonder if that was from the initial back heel to Adams. Seems to probably have been, but it was a good move from Falkirk. An opportunity there for Miller, but Fernandez with his towering frame was able to block it before Butland was even troubled. 0-0 then.
Great wee bit of skill, as you like to point out, the back heel, then the cut back to the edge of the box. Calvin Miller tries to slew one into the top right hand corner, but Fernandez's frame just stopping the ball.
Here's Barron in the final minute of the first 45. Bayrami just helps it on to Tavernier, who's left hand side at the moment, as Falkirk won it back though. Miller just inside the Rangers half, clips it forward for Ethan Williams. Williams with a chance here at the end of the first half. Down he goes under a challenge from Giga. Again the referee says there's nothing doing there, and Rangers come away. Both players are still down, Williams and Giga, inside the Rangers penalty area. Plays allowed to continue as Aarons has it, right hand side for Rangers now. Antman right hand side into the penalty area he comes, dancing away from a couple of challenges. Back to Barron looking for room to shoot. Oh, just wide from Conor Barron, right at the edge of the penalty area. Didn't look like it missed by much, but in stoppage time here, it's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a reasonably exciting end to the first half here. I mean, the ball over the top for Williams, it's actually really good defending from Giga. He gets across and puts him under enough pressure that he can't get the shot away. They're both injured from it. Oh, it's half time, Al.
Thanks.
I didn't even notice.
No, I didn't hear the whistle myself, but just as that Conor Barron effort whistled by the post, the referee clearly blew for half time as Giga continues to get some treatment here as the rest of the players troop off, including Ethan Williams, who's back on his feet after that challenge. Yeah, it has been rather uneventful here in the first half at Ibrox. Rangers, you would say, probably the better side. Falkirk mainly on the defensive. Antman had a header wide from a good position after 20 minutes. A bit of Bayrami individual skill, and a curling shot was just wide of the post a couple of minutes before the break, and then just in the stroke of half time, Conor Barron fizzed a shot just wide of the post as well, as Rangers failed to find an opening goal. So at half time here, it is Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
On your radio,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland. The Saturday Show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill.
A lot of people have been feeling very passionate about this. Seagulls.
Mark, have you had any run-ins with seagulls?
At night when I'm driving back for a gig, there's always about 40 seagulls. They're just sitting at this one petrol station. Like, you're scared to leave the car.
Did they ask you to buy fags in the petrol station?
Alan, can you please tell us why you are our Saturday VIP?
I am the winner of the checkout competition.
Please place your items in the bagging area.
Listen to The Saturday Show, Saturday at 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
This is Sports Sound. We're live here on BBC Radio Scotland. Already brought you a 2-1 win for Celtic in the capital against Hibernian. Maida and Engels for the visitors within the space of 33 seconds in the first half. Martin Boyle hitting back from the penalty spots, but it was Celtic who took the points. Another league victory for Martin O'Neill. Celtic moved to within 2 points of Hearts at the top of the table. 3 o'clock, it will be Livingston against Aberdeen. We're going to have regular updates from that one. Of course, we'll have live second half coverage from Ibrox. We're at the break. It is Rangers 0, Falkirk 0. Let's go to Brian McLaughlin, who is at Amond Vale for us and can bring us the team news.
Yes, good afternoon, Richard. A rather chilly Amond Vale, I can tell you, this afternoon. It was much warmer the last time Livingston managed to win a game. It was August the 9th, incredibly, 12 games ago, 8 defeats and 4 draws since then. Just the one change from the side that lost at Ibrox very narrowly last weekend. Mo Silla misses out. Lewis Smith comes into the starting 11 for Aberdeen. It's 5 games unbeaten, but I don't think everything is going to plan at Pittodrie at the moment, and certainly Jimmy Tillene's looking for much more from his players. 4 changes from the side that drew 1-1 with the Armenian minnows. Noah in midweek, Polvara, Jensen, Kessinen and Nesbitt all dropped to the bench. Shinnie, Nielsen, Armstrong and the striker Lazetic comes in to the starting 11. Don Robertson's the referee in the VAR this afternoon. Here at a freezing cold Amond Vale is David Dickinson.
Right, thank you, Brian. Should anything happen, and let's hope it does, in that game between Livingston and Aberdeen, then Brian will be right on the line. He'll tell us everything that is unfolding there. Let's hear from the managers. We'll start with the Dons boss, Jimmy Tillene, who Brian spoke to a few moments ago.
Well, Jimmy, what a glorious afternoon for a game of football.
Yeah.
You're on this 5-match unbeaten run at the moment as well. Do you tell your players, go win today and go and close the gap in the top 6?
I think we're taking game by game and try to stay stable now and give us the chance to win games and still put in the hard work. And for us now, when we are a lot of games now in a short turnovers, it's about energy. So we're trying to get some players resting and some players in to get energy, but don't change too much to keep it stable. Yeah, you've made a few changes today. Is that with all these games coming up in such a short period of time? Yeah, of course. We play Thursday and out today, and then Wednesday and Saturday again. So we have to keep the energy level high. It's because Livingston will give us a hard game today, and they're gonna have full of energy. So we do have to match them up there, but also don't change too much so we don't lose the connection inside the team. What did you learn about your players on Thursday night? Just could have been a little bit sharper. I think the first half is okay. Then in the second half we should give a little bit more extra punch, because it was more or less a must-win game to give us a chance. And we lacked a little bit of spark in the end of the game. In terms of Livingston, Jimmy, it's quite incredible. They haven't won a game since the 9th of August, when it was a lot warmer. Blue skies probably overhead as well. And they're bottom of the table. And yet a win today would see them leapfrog. They've actually been playing really well. I think, again, sometimes in the end of the season the table will never lies, but sometimes you can be close, and I think Livingston have performed well but don't get the results, so we have to be really focused today and focus on ourselves. Yeah, this is always a tough venue, isn't it, to come and play at? It is, and every game in the league is tough, so it's not like it's always close or tight in the games. You have to be really sharp mentally and focused and stay strong there.
Jimmy Tillene, the Aberdeen manager, as Brian said, on a good run in terms of they haven't lost any of the last 5, not scoring goals, of course, and 3 draws in the midst of those 5 games across the Conference League and the Premiership. But looking for the victory this afternoon. If they can get it, they would significantly improve their standing in the Premiership table. That's obviously the aim of David Martindale as well, and he too has been chatting with Brian.
Davey, first of all, just a one change today. No Mo Silla injured last week at Ibrox, I believe.
Aye, concussion, so Mo had to come off. I thought it was a pretty bad challenge, to be honest, in last week, but it kind of flew under the radar with the penalty decision. So Mo, concussion protocols, he's not really quite there yet, so I could have asked him to, but I wouldn't do that. I think we just took the precaution and said that we know he'll definitely be okay for next week. So concussion protocols rule, Mo out.
I think it was the 9th of August you last won a game, David. 12 games ago. Normally when a team goes that long, there's a lot of doom and gloom about it. I don't detect that around this place.
From us or me?
From everyone around the club. I genuinely don't detect that.
Nah, I don't think you will. One, I feel that performances haven't really merited where we are, but we are where we are. So I've got to take that in the chin. I look at the last 4 games specifically. Last minute, lose a last minute goal against Motherwell. Then you get 2 good draws, and then we don't get the penalty to take us potentially 2-1 at Ibrox. So there's a lot of positivity still around the club, in the change room, with myself, with the staff, in terms of performances, because you can base it off performances. I don't think we're getting the rubbery green in terms of officiating decisions not going quite our way, where there's other teams you're looking at it and there's 3 or 4 decisions actually went their way that shouldn't have went their way. We're probably on the flip side of that. There's a couple of decisions not went our way that should have went our way. So there's different aspects of that, but the most important part for me is performances, and I know that's got to translate into points. I understand that, but that's how you probably not see a lot of negativity, because we're, believe it or not, we're not in a bad place.
Yeah, a win today, you would leapfrog a couple of clubs up to 10th place. Is that the message to the players, the incentive for them?
Yeah, probably, definitely. No, probably, definitely. But when you look at kind of we're coming in now to a fixture list, it's going to be teams in and around us. We've had a tough fixture list. The start was always going to be tough when it first came out. I knew it was going to be tough. You're now, if you look at the ones that are in and around that bottom side, we've played them all away from home. Bar a penalty, last minute penalty Dundee, we've kind of came away okay from that. So we're now going to be coming teams in and around our area. We're going to be playing them at home in the next batch of fixtures. So I think 1 win, 2 wins, you just suddenly prepare yourself up the league. But it's going to be a difficult league this year. I think you can see that. I think there's probably going to be 4 or 5 at the top end, and the rest of us will be one of us fighting for 6, and then the rest of us are going to be much of a muchness, in my opinion. But that's how I feel now.
David Martindale, his Livingston team 2 points adrift at the foot of the table, but a win this afternoon would see them leapfrog both St Mirren and Kilmarnock and be just a point again behind Dundee. So Livingston against Aberdeen, 3 o'clock kickoff. Brian is there and will update us throughout the course of that one. English Premier League this afternoon, full time from earlier. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 2. United coming from behind to win that one. Half time, it's Aston Villa 0, Wolves 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Brighton 1, and West Ham United 0, stuttering Liverpool 0. Chelsea against Arsenal is the 4:30 kickoff. We're with you through until 5 o'clock. Remember, highlights of all the weekend's Premiership action, and in particular today's 3 matches on Sports Scene tonight. 7:15 BBC Scotland channel. It will include the draw for the 4th round of this season's Scottish Cup. So everyone with whose team is still in there, and of course the Premiership sides come in at this stage. Looking forward to finding out who they will play when the tournament gets up and running again in early January. Half time at Ibrox, Rangers 0, Falkirk 0. Stephen Thompson, it does not sound as if you three have been on the edge of your seats over the course of the 45 minutes.
Well, that would be a very good way of putting it, Richard. It's been pretty drab stuff, to be honest with you. Rangers have had a lot of the ball, but doing very little with it. Both goalkeepers having virtually nothing to do. So, I mean, we talked about it during the commentary. Rangers lacking a spark. Towards the very end of the half, Dynami showed a couple of decent moments. One effort and goal that just went wide, but that's been literally just about it. Lots of slack passes, lots of just bang average performances. From a Falkirk perspective, I think they've defended well, their shape's been good. Rangers haven't really put them under too much pressure, but I think they can do an awful lot more when they have possession of the ball. to try and build up the park. They've been unusually slack on the ball. So that'll be something that I think John McGlynn will be looking to address at half-time in the changing room.
Well, I mean, Falkirk generally score, Stephen Cregan. Obviously the style of football that John likes to play, and the players, I'm sure, enjoy playing. If they can get that going, do you see that there is potential for them to further frustrate Rangers and potentially go even beyond that in the second half?
Well, they haven't been at their best this afternoon, Falkirk. They haven't really had the same cohesion they've had in previous games. Probably coming to Ibrox for the first time for a lot of players. Rangers have dominated the ball. Falkirk have got it and give it away far too easy at times. Whenever they have managed to put a couple of passes together and put the balls in behind, or get Calvin Miller into good areas, or get Wilson into good areas, or get Williams on the left-hand side, they've looked a threat. They look as if they have something there, Richard, but they probably just need to do it for more of a sustained period. They haven't managed to do it for 10, 12 minutes in the game. It's kind of just sparingly they're going forward, and that's happening for them. So John McGlynn cut a frustrated figure in front of us because they were giving the ball away too easy. They weren't playing the forward passes quick enough at times. So I'd imagine he will try and give them a little bit of encouragement at half-time to be a bit braver in possession of the ball. That's not something you normally say about a Falkirk player, but be braver in the middle of the pitch, be braver as a full-back and play forward. Don't always have to go back to Scott Bain or go back to the centre half and give the responsibility to them. Take the responsibility yourself, because there's something there for them this afternoon. Absolutely there is. Rangers have been predictable. They've played in front of them. They haven't really carried a threat. Bajrami just before half-time came alive because someone kicked him and he got a little bit angry and wanted to make something happen. But they've lacked inspiration, Rangers have. And if Falkirk could get the first goal in here in the second half, this place could turn toxic, and then all goes in Falkirk's favour.
Well, I guess the onus on the home side to take the initiative. What can Danny Röhl do, do you believe, at the interval to try to send them on that course?
Well, I think he probably has to look at substitutions. I think Antman hasn't really done an awful lot. Bajrami maybe might have changed his mind just before half-time. Bojan Miovski looks a shadow of the player that he was at Aberdeen, Richard. I mean, his hold-up play, his link-up play. I thought at Aberdeen he was quick. He looks laboured here. He's trying to play things first time and giving it away. His all-round game just looks so far away from what it was at Aberdeen. So is there another centre forward to come in and play? Do you play Gassama up there because he's got a little bit of pace? He can maybe get in behind. But something has to happen. Connor Barron and Nico Raskin, I think, very similar in the middle of the pitch. They don't really have a passing range. They can pass it to each other. They can pass it to full-backs. Can they get it into centre forwards? Can they put diagonals in? Can they drop it in behind the defence? I'm not so sure they can.
I don't think they need two sitting midfielders.
No, they don't.
Anyway,
no,
you know, and you know, a lot of the crowd kind of frustrations come from them doing sideways and back passes, and there's two of them just sitting in there taking it off the back foot. You could easily do with just one sitter there and bring another forward on. I mean, if Danilo's on the bench, I mean, I'd be amazed if we don't see Gassama as well, but it has to be a whole lot better.
Well, they'll be hoping that it is a whole lot better in the second half. Rangers, of course, on a good run in terms of the league. Right now, unbeaten in their last 7 Premiership matches. It's 4 straight wins. They may not always have played at their best, but they've been able to get results, and Danny Röhl will certainly be looking for both, but he'll certainly be looking for the latter in the second half. Getting underway round about now at Almond Vale. Livingston against Aberdeen. Brian McLaughlin will keep us updated on that one. It's live commentary. Second half from Ibrox. Rangers against Falkirk with Stephen Craig and Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Teams have just come back out. No changes for either side at half-time, which slightly surprised by, given Danny Röhl's preparedness to make switches when he's deemed it necessary, but it's as you were from kick-off. As Rangers prepare to get us underway, they'll go from left to right as we look at it from the gantry here in the main stand at Ibrox, as Stephen McLean, the referee, just prepares to get things started once more. Nico Raskin is the man who will roll the ball back to Jack Butland, and we await the opening goal of the afternoon. Bless you, Stephen.
Thank you.
It's Fernandez on the halfway line, forward to Raskin. He heads it a little bit awkwardly, and Falkirk pick up and get it out to Williams. Back to Lisa. Fernandez and Wilson contest the ball there. Wilson's just started in the left-hand side here. I wonder if he's going to stay there or if that's just a momentary thing as Rangers get it out to the left, where Aarons comes forward over the halfway line. And Bayrami, who finished that first period well, plays it forward to Asgard in the angle of the box here. Surely Rangers have been asked to play quicker as Bayrami just runs the ball out of play in the end. A little bit unfortunate there, but certainly Rangers playing with a little bit more attacking intent in the first minute there of the second period. Let's see if they keep that up as Scott Bain prepares to take this goal kick.
I think John McGlynn's message at half-time would have been, don't give Rangers any encouragement, no individual errors, don't take any risks. The last thing we need them to do is get ahead of steam and get the crowd on their side.
There's Majowski, gets it to his left to Bayrami, waits for Aarons to make the run. Back goes Wilson, who's back on the Falkirk right. Raskan's down, not sure what he's holding there, but he looks to be in a bit of pain. The referee stopped play and will call the Rangers physios on. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if either of you two saw why Raskan went down. He seems to be holding maybe the left hamstring.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was a hamstring or a dead leg.
Right.
I think it was a coming together in the middle of the pitch. Whether he nicked the ball and someone caught him late, but
I'm going for a clash of knees.
Well, he's getting a bit of attention now, and Rangers will certainly want him to be able to recover here. I think he is just kind of shaking the leg off as if he will be able to run the knock off rather than it being any sort of muscle strain, which would have been more worrying.
He had his hand on his thigh there, so I'm still going for the dead leg.
Yeah. Drop ball, and play is back underway with Raskan waiting to come back on, and here he comes as Giga plays it to his right to Tavernier, and it's on to Raskan, the Belgian, recovered and coming forward here on the right hand side, tries a switch of play out to Bayrami. Bayrami will catch that before it heads out of play, just on the goal line now, up against Keelan Adams, tries to roll it into Aarons. It was good backtracking there by Wilson, a really good interception, otherwise Aarons might have had an opportunity to shoot out for a throw-in instead to Rangers. But 15 yards from the corner flag into Asgard it comes from Aarons at the edge of the box, plays it back to Tavernier midway inside the Falkirk half. Now he clips it in, Majowski chests it to Antman right hand side, back to Raskan at the edge of the box. Raskan, can he find room? Out to Antman once more, right hand side, tries to get it across goal. Majowski's there at the near post to get the final touch. A Falkirk defender, say the officials, and it will be a corner right hand side for Rangers. 48 in, Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, Antman getting to the byline this time, no quality in the delivery. It goes to the front post. Gormiowski, it's a wee tiny touch. It must have come off a Falkirk defender.
Tavernier then from the right hand side with the outswinger here into the edge of the box. Calvin Miller, yeah, he was shoved there, and Stephen McLean spotted that, and Falkirk get the free kick inside their own penalty area, and the Rangers corner comes to nothing.
It just looks hard work in the final third, doesn't it? You know, it's passing it on. That's what I'm saying. Players are passing on responsibility. You make something happen. No, you make something happen. Rather than actually just grabbing the ball and grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and saying, I'm going to put my head above the parapet. I'm going to take the risk and try and be that creative player.
Yeah, as I've already suggested, JD Gassama's one of the few Rangers players this season who's been willing to do that, and he's sitting on the bench. Finlay Curtis as well. Danny Rowe was asked about him post-match on Thursday, but when he would get his chance, he's certainly at the start of the season looked as good as anyone for Rangers. Got a couple of goals as well, but he did pick up a wee injury just recently. He's on the bench today, and time will tell whether we see him in action as it's clipped forward for Asgard here. It was Adams who got final touch. Bain dives to try and keep that in. I think he managed to do so. Fans don't think so, but it's a throw and it's been awarded left hand side for Rangers. Back to Aarons it goes. He helps it back to Manny Fernandez and into Giga on the halfway line. And Raskan has come deeper again to pick up possession and try and orchestrate something for Rangers. Plays it square to Fernandez, forward for Asgard, who runs into trouble, but he was fouled, and Rangers will have the free kick. Stephen McLean wants it taken from exactly the correct spot, which was not where Conor Barron took it for the second time either, but he's allowed to continue this time as Raskan has it. Antman on to Tavernier. Tavernier tries to help it through to Raskan, who tumbles after taking a touch. Looks at the assistant referee pleadingly, but it's a throw into Falkirk. Just looked to stumble there more than anything else as Philippe Lissa prepares to take the throw in on loan from Swansea, as is Kyle Wilson on the opposite flank. Miller can't keep possession of the ball. Barron gets it back to Fernandez, who dinks it forward onto the chest of Majowski. Good play from him. And now Raskan out to Tavernier. Crossing opportunity here for Tavernier. It's a decent ball. Asgard attacks it. Can't make anything of it. Adams just scrambles it clear over on the far side. A better ball from Tavernier, but Osgaard couldn't quite make the contact he was looking for. Rangers have taken the throw, and it's Aarons to the byline, but straight into Keelan Adams, who wins possession. Aarons stays down, but there was certainly no foul as Adams clips up towards the halfway line. Powerful challenge there by Giga to make sure that Falkirk couldn't counter, but here they come now as Tate plays it through for Calvin Miller. Wonderful ball. Out comes Butland. Evasive action required from the Rangers keeper as he slid in there out of his penalty area to make sure Miller couldn't get the crucial touch and give Falkirk the opening goal. 51 played. Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
Great movement from Calvin Miller on a fabulous pass from Dylan Tate, but outside of the foot. Really good goalkeeping as well. Jack Butland really alert and quick out to get it, but otherwise Calvin Miller would have a shot and goal.
Yeah, it was a brilliant little turn, first of all, wasn't it, right on the halfway line from Dylan Tate. Just skipped past Nico Raskan and then immediately outside of his right foot just fed the ball into the channel. And Calvin Miller, I just wonder, could he have been a little bit braver? I think he decided quite early on, I'm not going to get this, the goalkeeper's going to get there, but go and get a little nick on it, you never know.
Falkirk throw in left hand side, taken by Lisa, back the way to Henderson, under pressure from Majowski, plays it further back to Allen, who will in turn be pressured by Osgaard, and all the way back to Scott Bain. Into the feet now of Spencer, back to Bain, outside his area, plays the pass. It was almost cut out, well, it was cut out by Raskan, but he couldn't keep control of it, and it's out of play for a throw into Falkirk midway inside their own half. We've played almost 53 minutes, still no goals. We'll keep you up to date with any goals that go in at Ammon Vale as Dylan Tate plays it through the legs of Majowski back to Henderson on his own byline, back into Scott Bain, who takes a touch and then fires a good ball out to the right hand side to Adams, who nods it back for Connor Allen on that right flank for Falkirk. Back to Bain once more, and then he hoists it forward this time. Calvin Miller has not got much chance in the air against Manny Fernandez, and Miller has gone down holding his face, but he's been the one penalised for kind of making it back for Fernandez there, and he's come off second best.
Well, he knows he's not going to win the header, that's for sure, so he just tries to get his body in, maybe caught a flailing arm in the process, but he's getting back to his feet.
Free kick to Rangers then, about 15 yards inside their own half. Both sides have got subs warming up. See Megoma and Gassama and Curtis making their way back in just now, as Fernandez has it just inside his own half. Still no goals here at Ibrox, no goals at Livingston Aberdeen either. 2-1 Celtic earlier in the season, earlier in the afternoon I should say, as Raskan helps it forward to Majowski, gets it back once more, then he plays it to Majowski again, then Osgaard onto Aarons. Aarons comes forward up towards the edge of the penalty, a 3-1 challenge but not the second from Tate, and Falkirk have it back, and Miller inside his own half looks up, goes back the way to Lisa. Henderson available at the edge of the box, here he is, and plays it square to Connor Allen. Definitely some activity on the Rangers bench. There's going to be some changes imminently as Henderson gets it on the edge of his box out to the left hand side for Tate, who's immediately under pressure from Antman, and he goes down and gets the free kick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Gassama and Megoma. They're going to come on. I'm not too sure what the change will be with regards to players coming off, but certainly you would imagine Antman would be one of them. He's had a really poor afternoon.
Yeah, he's really not shown up particularly well since a really impressive debut for the club here against Victoria Pilsen, but since that night I haven't really seen him do all that much. He was the top provider of goals in the Dutch League last season, but there's been little to suggest he can be similar in the Scottish League, as Williams tries to get the better of Giga, but across comes Fernandez to help out his central defensive partner. He's given it away to Tate though, back into Miller, just at the edge of the Rangers box, into Wilson. Then he can't find a teammate and Rangers emerge with possession, and it's Raskan, listen to the fans, looking for a big switch of play to Bayrami, I think, as Majowski gets it instead on the right hand side. Just lays it back to Tavernier. He tries to play it out to the left hand side. It will come for Osgar rather than Bayrami. Osgar now driving to the edge of the box, keeps control of it, knocks it back to Aarons. Aarons swivels, plays it back to Barron. Now it's out to the left to Bayrami. Bayrami tries to step away there from Williams, and he's fouled by him. Rangers will have a free kick left hand side, and an opportunity here. Perhaps, not sure if the substitutions will take place before that. Scott Fry again, the set piece coach, is out in the technical area as Max Aaron's number is held up. He'll be replaced by a more natural left back in Jaden Magoma, as he was against Braga. To a knock or two in the game, Max Aaron's as well. And the other player being replaced is indeed Oliver Antman by Jiri Gassama. It'll be interesting to see if he does operate on the right hand side as he did against Braga, but I do always feel he looks more threatening coming in off the left flank. We'll see, but the free kick will come from the left for Rangers, about 25, maybe 30 yards from the goal line. There's some treatment required for someone.
I think it's Calvin Miller from the previous head knock. I don't know whether there's blood or not. It's
I don't know if there's
away.
blood or actually Brad Spencer was talking about maybe a little bit dazed.
Right.
I wasn't sure. Was that something to do with his mouth?
The Rangers fans want him to be taken off the field of play if he needs treatment, but that's not going to happen just yet. So the double substitution made by Rangers. Falkirk look like they're going to make a change as well, as Ethan Ross looks like he's not, maybe not. Alfie Aguiman might be the man who's going to come on instead.
Scott Arfield stripped and all. He looks like he's going to come on as well, Al.
Well, those changes won't happen till after this free kick, which is about to be taken by James Tavernier. We've played almost 58 minutes. We haven't had any goals as yet, as Tavernier on the left hand side prepares to swing this one into the penalty area. Near post, it's aimed, it comes out to the edge of the box. It's Fernandez who drags it well wide of target. Gassama actually, who caught the ball just having come on a moment or two ago, and he really should have made better contact, even though he's just off the bench, and it remains 0-0. Rangers losing possession on the halfway line. The fans growing more and more restless. Calvin Miller's offside. He is going to be allowed to continue momentarily, but now the flag goes up on the far side, and Rangers will have the free kick. Still goalless then. Still no sign of a goal.
No, it's been that kind of day, Al.
It was a goal this afternoon for me at Firth Park yesterday. It was
you had a right good weekend.
A more entertaining game, I would have to say, that one at Firth Park. At least there was chances, and it was a bit more end to end. This one's been pretty devoid of opportunities, as both Aguiman and Arfield are stripped in the Falkirk technical area, and they're about to come on. Who for we shall soon see.
Brian Graham.
Yeah, Brian Graham is going to be replaced by Aguiman. Ross McKeever still not available for Falkirk, so they're limited in terms of attackers, and Calvin Miller's the other one who's going to make way for a man who knows a thing or two about playing here, Scott Arfield, who will try and make an impact for Falkirk in the closing half hour of this game. Calvin Miller trudging off along with Brian Graham. As Falkirk look to, they haven't really been able to threaten Rangers either. And, well, Arfield gets an ovation from the entire stadium, which shows you the regard he is held in.
That's been the biggest cheer of the day.
Yep, you're not wrong. Here's Fernandez on the halfway line. Forward to Barron. Back to Fernandez, and then back to Jack Butland. We played 15 minutes of the second period, half an hour left, and it's still goalless as Butland clips it out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Tavernier with a good first touch, but can't get away from Williams. Out off Williams though for the throw into Rangers, and then the free kick goes to Rangers as Gassama, who is playing on the right hand side, is taken down. Tavernier then about 10 yards inside the Falkirk half. Barron makes a run ahead of him. That's a terrible pass from James Tavernier. Listen to the reaction as Falkirk try and come forward. Fernandez is there to tidy up as Arfield tries to close him down. Fernandez gets it upfield. Henderson brings it under control. He's given it away to Asgard though. That's poor from Henderson, and Asgard can come forward. The Rangers fans urging him towards goal. It's out to Bayrami now, left hand side into the penalty area. Takes on Adam, fires it in to the feet of Asgard, who couldn't make anything of it. He's looking for a corner kick, and I think he's going to get it. Let's quickly cross to Ammanvale to Brian McLaughlin. Any goals there, Brian?
No, 0-0 here, Al, but it's one-way traffic towards the Aberdeen goal. Livingston have been excellent so far. Yenge with a flick on to May, but the striker pulled his shot just wide. Then a Danny Wilson header also just wide of the target. Moses Soho, who's been excellent this afternoon, he had a shot well saved as well by Mitov. Lewis Smith also had an effort block. One-way traffic to the Aberdeen goal, but they can't just get anything on target.
In comes a corner and a header just wide from Asgard. The free kick has been given to Falkirk for I think a shove in there, but Asgard couldn't hit the target in any event. And still we await the first goal here at Ibrox with 62 on the clock. Another decent chance, but wouldn't have counted anyway.
I think it was Fernandez that had possibly bumped into Liam Henderson, but Rangers just starting to build up a little bit more urgency. Sometimes substitutions can just spark you into action a little bit more. Bajrami's probably the most likely player in the second half. He just needs to get a little bit more of the ball, taking people on. He's got that bit of sharpness about him. But out with that, they're kind of plodding through the game still.
Falkirk throw in midway inside their own half, left-hand side, to be taken by Philippe Lisa. Looking for options in field. Tavernier intercepts. Going to come for Gassama, but he's robbed by Lisa. And now Giga will have to go back towards his own goal, back to Butland. Aguiman trying to close him down. Butland's hit it straight off him. Aguiman might be there. Big chance for Rangers to try and clear here, but Falkirk almost scrambling it into the back of the net. And still play continues as Aguiman wins possession. Charged down at the edge of the box, and somehow Rangers get it clear, but now the free kick is given for Williams' challenge on Tavernier. I don't know why it wasn't given straight away, but Rangers getting themselves into all sorts of trouble, and Falkirk so close to the opener.
Well, it's just, it would have summed up their day. A little bit of hesitancy at the back, a little bit of complacency. Alfie Aguiman just closes down Jack Butland. The ball back to him was a little bit loose, and then all hell broke loose. Shot from Aguiman, ball cleared. I think Stephen McLean had decided it was a free kick, but just in case the ball went into the net, he may have been wrong. I think that's why he allowed it to go for a few seconds before he stopped it, but that was a nervy moment.
It was carnage. It's 5 seconds of utter madness.
Yeah, Aguiman doing well to close Butland down, but ultimately perhaps the ball should have ended up in the back of the net. Eventually Rangers scrambling it away, but the nerves among the players, you feel. Bayrami's been flagged offside here as Butland got it out to him on the left hand side. The supporters' nerves, the players' nerves in Rangers colours all seem to be jangling as the match progresses at 0-0. 64 on the clock.
I mean, there's been very little, if anything, for the Rangers fans to get off their seats for. I mean, it's far from full in here at Ibrox today anyway, but you know, you come to a football match to be entertained. They certainly have not been.
Bayrami beaten there by Keelan Adams. Fernandez tries to step in front of Aguiman, then Asgard knocks Tate to the floor. Free kick quickly taken. Right hand side, it's Aguiman into the area, flashes it across goal. Butland at his near post, sticks the left leg out and knocks it behind for a corner.
Really good quick free kick that out through to Aguiman. Probably a really difficult angle to get the shot away. He manages it, it takes a wee deflection. It looks as though it's going to squirm in Jack Butland's left hand post, but he sticks out his foot and turns it round for the corner.
He's brought him to life, hasn't he?
He has.
Alfie Aguiman. I actually worked with Alfie when he was a kid. He was at Motherwell for a couple of years, and he just was trying to find his way. We just couldn't work out what kind of player he was or what position. He drifted off and found his way now, but he's just got a sharpness about him, a real desire to go and press and try and ignite the game.
Falkirk to the short corner, doesn't really come off. Tate unable to keep it, but Rangers have given it away in a poor area for them, and Wilson gets it into the box. Asgard clears now up towards the halfway line.
Don't know why they didn't just put that in. They've not had a lot of opportunities from set plays in the game. Taking it short and ended up, you know, a complete waste.
Bain knocks it forward. Tavernier wins the header. Majowski will pick up here. Little back heel for Tavernier. On to Raskan. Rangers on the counter. Gassama makes the run. Into Gassama it goes. Can he pull the trigger here? Cuts back inside. Groch saved by Bain. And the rebound falls to by Rami, who can't react quickly enough to knock it on target. And Falkirk survive. It's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
It's a brilliant counter-attack, and Falkirk still had bodies up from the corner, the short corner that they took. Rangers really quick up the pitch for one of the first times in the game. Majowski involved, Tavernier laid it in to Raskin. Gassama made a good run in behind, then he chops. He's got the whole goal at his mercy, and actually it's probably a decent save from Scott Bain in the end, but you're thinking Gassama probably should score.
You talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You work your way up the pitch, you get a corner kick, you take it short, ball turns over, and you almost go one behind. That's the little moments you're talking about concentration, game management. Assess where you are in the game and just put it into the box and try and carry a threat. But you have to say it was a really good play by Rangers. Showed energy, showed drive, getting themselves forward. And when the big moment arrives for Gassama, you're thinking settle down, calm. Tries to go across the goalkeeper, but it's almost right. Really smart save, Scott Bain.
I think that's Danilo who's preparing to come on here for Rangers as they continue their search for a goal. Bojan Majowski is already making his way across here. I think he knows his number's about to be up, and it's been another...
No, you're wrong, Al.
No, I am wrong, yes. It's Tello Oscar. He is coming across here for this near side. I mean, I can be forgiven, I think, for thinking it would be Majowski, because he's...
it could be literally anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. I mean, barring by Rami, and it's a bit of a stretch. The front players have created very, very little. Looks like they'll go with the two up top now.
Yeah, you imagine Danilo maybe just in behind Majowski, as he's played a number of times this season, as Osgar makes way. And John McGlynn's also calling back another of his substitutes with a view to another change for him, as Scott Bain prepares to take the goal kick. We've played 3/4 of this game, no goals, and precious few close cut things either, as Gassama tries to free himself of the shackles of Lisa, but runs the ball straight out of play, and it will be a Falkirk throw-in.
Scott Arfield's playing as a centre forward.
Yeah.
That probably tells you how light they are in that area. But Ross McKeever missing out.
Lisa then on the left-hand side here, about 15 yards inside his own half, with the throw-in. Looks for Spencer, it's a good throw, it's just gone beyond Spencer. Magoma knocks it forward, Bayrami picks up, feeds it forward, looking for Majowski. He's put too much on that though. Out comes Bain to smother before Majowski can get there, but again, Bayrami, you'd expect him to be able to execute that kind of pass a bit better, as Sam Hart prepares to come on for Falkirk.
It was the right idea from Bayrami, and the movement was good for Majowski, but just as you point out, just too much pace on the ball. I agree with Craggs though. Majowski, he doesn't look sharp, he doesn't look I don't know, he just looks laboured.
Tavernier infield to Raskan, just inside the Falkirk half, out to the left to Magoma. Bayrami trying to get it back to him, but Aguiman's gone and covered that one off, and it will be a throw-in to Falkirk, as Sam Hart, who's he's going to replace Keelan Adams. I mean, that's got to be...
I think it was an injury.
An injury, yeah. Because
he was down just a few moments ago, so...
Adams, I don't think I've ever seen him come off. He's such a fit guy, up and down that right flank, but Hart, who I think more of a left-sided player, but perhaps needs must for Falkirk here, as he replaces Adams. Rangers have it. Tavernier driving Rangers forward in central area, but he's coming across to the right edge of the box now. Stands up to the back post. Well won by a Falkirk head as they manage to get it clear. Rangers have been short of ideas in attacking areas. Barron picks up for them and plays it back out to his captain right hand side. Early ball in's not a bad one. Majowski rises, he's beaten to it by Danilo. Danilo's header will come to Bayrami left hand side. Nice little feint inside, but just can't get the cross in, but he gets it back to Magoma instead. Angle of the box, left hand side. Back it goes to Fernandez. Fernandez back to Giga on the halfway line. We've got 20 to play. Still goalless at Ibrox. Still nothing each at Ammanvale between Livy and Aberdeen as well. All the highlights, if you can call them that, will be on Sports Scene this evening. You might struggle with this particular match edit, as Barron just nudges it back to Tavernier. Gassama now right hand side, back into Tavernier and onto the halfway line again to Giga. Danny Rowe still prowling around his technical area, but I can't imagine he's delighted by what he's seen from his side this afternoon. Another poor touch from Majowski, but it breaks kindly for Bayrami. Out to the left hand side, Magoma, and it's played off him by Wilson, and it will be a Falkirk goal kick. 50,288 apparently
no
inside
chance.
Ibrox, but
not a single chance.
No, that's some way off the number who are actually inside, as Majowski intercepts a pass out there from Bain, but we can only knock it behind for another goal kick. Let's go back to Ammanvale. Brian, you can take just as long as you like, to be quite honest with you.
Well, you interrupted me the last time. I thought we were going to have a Rangers goal. Anyway, 29 minutes on the clock here. Still 0-0, but still one-way traffic towards the Aberdeen goal. Meetoff made an excellent stop from Lewis Smith a short time ago. He normally cuts in onto his left hand side, but this time took the ball onto his right foot and fired in a shot, and Meetoff did brilliantly to fire the ball away. One half chance for Aberdeen. Carlson from distance, the ball though deflected wide for a corner. Livy continue on top, but they just cannot find a way through to clear on goal. It's still 0-0 here at Ammanvale between Livingston and Aberdeen.
Thanks, Brian. Still 0-0 here between Rangers and Rangers and Falkirk with 18 to play. As Falkirk come forward, Arfield looks like he might be offside, but play continues for the moment as he tries to get it into the box. Fernandez, and now the flag goes up. Arfield did look like he was a yard or so wrong side of the Rangers defence.
That's the word urgency again. It's just everyone's waiting for someone else to make something happen or to start the game or take a risk. Far too easy. Rangers have to be so much better than this. Falkirk must be delighted. This is exactly where they want the game at 20 minutes to go.
Tavernier trying to lift it over the top for the run of Gassama. Hart just sees him away, but comes to Raskar in the middle of the park now, into the feet of Danilo. Danilo back to Magoma, left hand side, out to Bayrami. Bayrami tries to step away from his marker, then sends it in towards the back post. Tavernier's there, but it's a team effort and an easy take for Scott Bain. We've seen him pop up at the back post on numerous occasions, James Tavernier, with crucial goals, but on that occasion he couldn't get the contact he needed, and with 73.5 minutes on the clock, it's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
It's good delivery to the back post, but yeah, it was a difficult one for Tavernier to give him his due. I mean, the ball's very, very high. It's difficult to get any real good contact on it. It's opening up a wee bit. Oh,
Aguiman almost in behind there. That's not a great clearance either from Fernandez, and it's picked up by Sam Hart, who goes for goal, and Butland can only push it away, and it's going to eventually trickle out for a corner. Might have been kept in, but it's Falkirk who are now threatening to snatch the opening goal. A decent enough hit there as Williams came forward.
It's just getting a wee bit stretched again. You know, Rangers having to pile more bodies forward, and then they're looking susceptible to a counter as the game kind of goes on here. But I don't think there's any chance Falkirk could be taking this one shot.
It's Williams who's come across to this left-hand side to take it. Falkirk looking to stun this Ibrox crowd as he sends it into the 6-yard box. It's well met though by Fernandez. Gassama will chase it, and it's knocked out of play by Williams. Rangers throw in midway inside their own half. Again, the Ibrox crowd want a bit of urgency. We are going to see Finlay Curtis here, as well as Mo Diamondi in the closing stages. Bayrami makes way for Curtis, and it will be Conor Barron who's replaced by Mo Diamondi, who popped up with a late winner against Livingston last weekend. Red carded, of course, here on Thursday for a second yellow offence, his second red card in the Europa League. Can these two ignite something in Rangers to find the winner that they are searching for? So they've given it away again. It's Arfield picking up, and now it's Aguiman left hand side of the Rangers box off Fernandez, and Tavernier completes the clearance. It was Giga actually who got in the way of that. It's a throw in left hand side for Falkirk. Tate will just leave this for Hart, who is playing at left back. Actually, Lisa's gone out to play on the right hand side of the defence as Hart then swings it into the box. Fernandez with a clearing header. Lisa will keep it for Falkirk though, and it's back with Allen at the edge of the centre circle. Now it's square for Henderson. Forward for Dylan Tate once more. He lifts it forward. It's going to be too much, I think, for Hart to catch. Tavernier just sees that behind. It's a Rangers goal kick, which is quickly taken. 76 on the clock, 0-0, and precious few signs of that changing as Danilo picks up on the halfway line on the left-hand side, out to Curtis. Back with Magoma. Rangers have made all their possible changes as it's Raskan picking up in the edge of the centre circle inside the Falkirk half. Out to the right-hand side where Gassama is still operating. Curtis on the left as Gassama slides it into Diamondi at the edge of the box. Still right-hand side. Just dinks it into Tavernier. Now it's Danilo, tries to lay it back into the path of Diamondi. Cut out though by the Falkirk back line. Danilo's pinched it though, right-hand side. Can he pick out a teammate in the middle? No, it comes back out to the right-hand side as Gassama will pick up once more. And he's well challenged there by Williams. It's a Rangers throw-in. Danilo just unable to find the pass there as Diamondi now has it, right-hand side. Tries to send the ball into the box, but it's blocked by Hart. Giga heads it back to the edge of the penalty area. Again, it's Hart who gets it away. Arfield flicks it on, but no Falkirk players up there. And Fernandez has it. Again, the fans not happy about the lack of an early pass, but Tavernier gets it out to the left-hand side. If Curtis can keep this from bouncing behind, he has done, right on the byline, left-hand side. Curtis swings in, it's a good ball into the dangerous area, and it's Hart once more who gets the clearing header, and Falkirk knock it cleared up to Aguiman. Fernandez though wins it from him, left-hand side. Time running out as he gets it back in. Danilo helps it on. Tavernier, oh, surely Tavernier can keep that in play.
I think he thought he was offside, Al. I think he came from an offside position from the initial pass. That's the reason why he said I can't touch it.
Did look to the fans as well. I think that is almost as if Tavernier had given that up, but that makes sense what Stephen Craigan is saying there. There's a Falkirk player down over on the far side, but it's certainly been uninspiring stuff from the home side for the 78 minutes we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see where they're going to get a goal from. I mean, there's been some reasonable deliveries put into the box, the latest from Finlay Curtis, but I'm never really convinced that a Rangers player is going to be on the end of it.
12 to play then, plus whatever added on time. As Giga, that's a nice Cruyff turn away from Aguiman, back in field to Fernandez and then back with Giga. Fernandez once more, now midway inside his own half. 0-0 it stands, 0-0 at Almond Vale. We'll get the half-time report from Brian in a while as Magoma comes forward now and gets it back once more on the left-hand side, and his cross is deflected behind for a corner. 11 to play, Rangers on the lookout for a breakthrough here. Corner kick to be taken by Tavernier over on that left-hand side. And this is where perhaps the set-piece coach Scott Fry needs to work some magic, because they've been lacking in inspiration elsewhere. Tavernier with the in-swinger with the right foot, near post ball is a poor one, away by Aguiman, only as far though as Diamondi. He can't get it to a teammate though. Magoma's got to be careful here, he's the last man back, and he knocks it forward but can't find a teammate, and Tate picks up left-hand side for Falkirk. Can't link though with Williams. Falkirk really haven't been able to keep the ball as well as we are normally used to seeing them do, and that has invited Rangers forward, but they haven't been able to take advantage of that as Magoma though gets it out to Curtis left-hand side, trying to come inside Lisa. He's held up for the moment. Picked up by Curtis once more. Stephen's looking at me strangely, I'm not sure why, but Giga picks it up in the centre circle. Diamondi now, right hand side, he just overruns it now. Who did that come off last?
Goal kick.
Yeah, goal kick is the award, and there's very few pass marks in this Rangers lineup today.
it just becomes desperate. 10 minutes to go, the fans are getting agitated, players are trying to force things, they aren't coming off, it's making the situation worse. And it's their own fault. They've had 80 minutes up to this point to try and make something happen, and they've been miles off it this afternoon. And you just wonder, do Falkirk have one piece of magic or one piece of brilliance in them to probably nick 3 points?
Rascan trying to play it off Williams, but I think he's knocked it straight out of play. It'll be a Falkirk throw, and they're going to make a couple of changes here. Ryan Edwards, who has come in recently on a short-term contract, former Dundee United man, is going to come on, as well as Ethan Ross. And making way, well, Lisa is one of them, so you'd imagine Edwards will go into, obviously, into the defence. I don't know if he'll go and play at right back, unless maybe Connor Allen switches across. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Allen's going to go to right back, and Edwards into that defence, adding a bit more height, a bit more physical presence, as Ethan Ross also comes on. So Falkirk within 8 and a bit minutes of getting a good result at Ibrox. Certainly a point would go down as that, but they will feel it's still there for them to take all three, as Tate knocks it forward here. There's a stumble there by Williams as Rangers get it up into the Falkirk half. Edwards to his right to Allen. Allen forward for Aguiman on the right hand side, looking to get the better of Magoma. Magoma makes the challenge, but it's Falkirk throw in right hand side as they come forward midway inside the Rangers half. Kyrre Wilson, I think, was the other player that went off incidentally there for Ethan Ross, as Falkirk come down the right hand side. It's Aguiman up against Magoma once more. Good shift, and gets the cross in, but it's not clear for another Falkirk throw in. 7.5 to play, still 0-0. Very abject showing from Danny Rowell's side here as it comes into the Rangers box. Giga gets it clear, caught in the volley, and that's not far away from Williams. He caught it nicely in the left foot, but it was always rising, and Jack Butland not troubled in the end. But as you're saying, Stephen, it was just a moment like that that could catch Rangers cold, and Falkirk could indeed get all 3 points.
Yeah, he's got every right to take it on. I mean, it's set up nicely for him, and he catches it with the left foot on the volley. It was speculative. I don't think he caught it as sweetly as he wanted to. He got underneath it a wee bit, and it just floats over Butland's bat.
Rangers coming forward. Curtis will give chase. Edwards should be there ahead of him. He kind of played a lot of football recently, Ryan Edwards, having came on against his old side Dundee United for his debut last weekend, having signed that short-term deal to the end of December, I think, initially for John McGlynn's side. Falkirk have the throw-in over on the far side, their right-hand side. Still 0-0 here in the 84th minute. Rascan helps it forward. Majowski again can't make anything of it. The Rangers fans losing patience, I think, with him. As Falkirk pick up on the right hand side, slid out of play though, and it'll be a Rangers throw-in just inside the Falkirk half. 6 to play, 0-0 it stands, and this just won't do as far as the Rangers supporters are concerned. As much as the performance has been poor, they just need to find a winner from somewhere. Gassama trying to get away down the right hand side. Ethan Ross tracking back. Gassama though still firing forward. Way too much on the cross though, well behind any of his teammates, and all the way out for a throw-in over on the far side, and the quality has been severely lacking.
Just about sums it up, Al. I mean, you look at the last home game against Livingston, you would say that Rangers possibly fortunate to get out of the game with the victory, given what happened in the match. The performance not great, and under Danny Rowell they've been getting wins in the league, which has been masking a wee bit the level of performance. But today, you know, it has been really, really poor performances from Rangers.
I think he's... Sorry, Fernandez with a slightly slack pass back there, and Butland can only prevent it from going from a corner. It's hammered it into the stand over on the far side. Falkirk throwing as they come forward down the right hand side. It's Arfield up against Curtis. Curtis just preventing it from going behind for a corner, then knocks it down the left and out for another Falkirk throw. You were going to say, Craigs?
Yeah, I think when Danny Rowell came in, he said it'll be results over performances, which is fine when you're winning. But when you don't win the game and the performance isn't very good, then you're going to have to answer your critics, and that's what's going to have to happen this afternoon if they don't manage to get this goal, which looks unlikely at this point.
Looks very unlikely with 4.5 to play. And Falkirk up the other end is Aguiman right hand side, well challenged though by Fernandez. One thing you could probably say, which would be fair, I think, is that Giga and Fernandez, I mean, they've not been overly troubled at the back, but they've looked as assured as I've seen them in a Rangers jersey, as Falkirk get a free kick in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is the fact that they've not, Falkirk haven't really been putting them under pressure or putting the two centre-halves under any stress really throughout the match. It's been a quite comfortable afternoon for them.
Fernandez is actually down right now, which is not what Danny Rule will want to see.
He's all right, he's up.
He's made all his substitutions, and he's pretty short of centre-backs anyway, but he is back on his feet to defend this free kick, which is midway inside the Rangers half, right of centre, and Ethan Williams will take this one. Rangers trying to hold the line just outside the box, and it comes. It's Majowski, it meets it at the edge of the box. Danilo helps it on, but back into the box it comes for Falkirk. Right hand side is Williams, touches it back. Aguiman, and Fernandez is there to block on the edge of the 6-yard box and knock it out for a throw-in over on the far side. The Falkirk fans over on that far corner, they are still full of belief that they can take maybe all 3 points from this game, certainly one. 3 minutes to play, 0-0 it stands. 0-0 at Ammanvale between Livy and Aberdeen. 2-1 Celtic at Easter Road earlier in the day, as Hart prepares to send potentially a long throw in here from the right hand side, just a few yards away from the corner flag, and it comes to that near post area. It's Curtis who gets the header clear, but not completely clear, as Hart picks up once more right hand side. There's a Falkirk player down inside the box. It's come off a Rangers player last anyway, and it's going to be a Falkirk corner.
Yeah, and there's definitely a nervousness in the Rangers back line. There's a nervousness around the stadium, and I can imagine Danny Rule's feeling the exact same. So deep into the game, Falkirk have been decent at times, haven't carried a huge threat throughout the game. However, when it gets to this stage, it just takes a nick, it takes a deflection, anything can end up in the back of the net. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
And Danny Rule was praising his side's performance in the opening hour against Braga, even though it was pretty unspectacular. Certainly against Livingston it was pretty poor. It's been poor today, and they are defending a corner here with a couple of minutes to play, with the scoreline at 0-0. Falkirk looking for a first win in 100 years of league visits here. Can they snatch the goal here that might give them that? Rangers got a man down as the ball comes in to the box. It's Diamondi's back on his feet. They've cleared the corner. Gassama will go and try and get that, and he's just beaten to it there by Connor Allen and knocked out of play on this near side. Throw into Rangers just inside their own half. Tavernier to take. They'll get it back from Diamondi. Diamondi with a nice touch away from Arfield. Rangers need to get it down the other end though. It's Magoma inside his own half. Out to the left hand side for Curtis. In goes Connor Allen, takes Curtis out of play, and I think we're going to get a yellow card here. It might be it's not the first, but we've not seen too many, that's for sure. As Connor Allen though does go into the referee's notebook in the last minute of the game, plus whatever's added on. Here's Giga on the halfway line. Can Rangers create something in these final stages? Tavernier back to Giga. Inside his own half, plays it square to Fernandez. Fernandez into Diamondi. Nice little feint away from his marker. Now Diamondi can bring Rangers forward, but it's a really poor pass. He's managed to win it back from Ethan Ross, then he goes down. What's a free kick to Falkirk? Diamondi is penalised, and Falkirk have taken that quickly. They want to win this. It's Ethan Ross coming forward. Left hand side, comes away from Tavernier. Was he clipped there by Majowski? Yes, he was, says Stephen McLean. Falkirk will have another free kick. Diamondi's still unhappy with the earlier free kick given against him. We've played almost the 90. It's still 0-0, and Falkirk have another opportunity here with 5 minutes added on, which we are just moving into right now. Falkirk will have a chance here to try and get this into the Rangers box as they look to grab a win. It's about 20 odd yards inside the Rangers half. Left to centre, Ethan Williams will take this one in. Again, Rangers holding the line just at the edge of the box, and it comes. Header won by a Falkirk head. Rangers can't get it clear. Comes across goal, and Majowski flicks it clear almost from his own goal line, and is behind for a Falkirk corner. And as Stephen Craigan's been saying, it's just growing nervier and nervier inside Ibrox.
It is, and they did really well to keep that one alive. They headed right back across the goal. Just unfortunate for Falkirk that they didn't have anybody at the back post, and it was cleared by Majowski, but yet another corner to defend.
And Rangers have got everyone back to do that. They haven't been particularly impressive at home in terms of their results, it has to be said. You certainly don't want to lose another one. We've won just 2 of 6 as Williams sends it in to the penalty area. It's a header from Fernandes once more out to the left hand side. Diamondi beaten in the challenge there by Arfield, but it breaks off him and behind for a goal kick. There's 2 balls in the pitch which Butland will have to race and kick away the second ball before he takes this goal kick. He's urging everyone forward as he prepares to launch this one long. We've played 90 seconds of the 5 minutes that were added on as Butland takes the goal kick over the halfway line, but it's won by Aguiman. Fernandes, it's not a particularly good header, and it'll come back to Aguiman right hand side. Rangers having to defend again. Aguiman into the box, he's overrun it. It'll be another goal kick.
It was a wild touch. I mean, it looked like he was doing well, bearing down and goal, and then just a 20-metre touch.
It's played short to Giga this time, bringing it out from the back, looking for an option ahead of him. Arfield just gives him a little shove. Giga still has it though. Then he's challenged by Arfield, and the referee gives the free kick. I'm not sure if it was for the initial shove or the second challenge, which looked cleaner, but Stephen McLean saying no, it's for the first one, so it's got to go back a bit. Well, the fans who have remained inside Ibrox not happy with that, but it was for the initial challenge as Tavernier then prepares just a few yards inside the Falkirk half to take this free kick. Angles it into the box just to the edge of the area. It's won by Ryan Edwards, who is a good aerial presence, and Falkirk pick up right hand side and will come forward once more through Aguiman. Again, it's a poor touch. Diamondi steps across him and takes possession of the ball. It's Magoma now into Gassama, who spins away from Spencer on the halfway line and tries to come forward. Curtis is outside of him. It's still Gassama though. Gassama back onto the right foot, twisting and turning. Can he get the shot away here? Tries to do so on the left foot, but it come off his arm there. Trying to keep it alive. Gets it out to Curtis, left hand side. Closed down by Aguiman. He goes down, and that's going to be a free kick to Rangers. Well, Falkirk felt it came off Gassama's arm as he was challenged, and looked like they might have a case there, but the free kick has ultimately gone to Rangers. We're inside the last couple of minutes of stoppage time, and it's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
It's pretty much 0 or never. It's a silly foul to give away. That was from Aguiman. It's right in the corner, pretty much like a corner here. Tavernier looks as though he's going to in-swing it.
Yeah, just down in that left flank for Rangers near the corner flag. It is Tavernier. Sends it in high, one for Fernandes to go and try, and when he does win the header, it's not clean and it's not on target, behind for a goal kick, and it's still Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
I mean, there was no pace in the ball. It was so high and floaty that even if Fernandes does get a head on it, it's virtually impossible to get any power or purchase on it.
Scott Bain's going to be booked for time wasting here as Falkirk try and see this out for a point, and Stephen Craigan, would they be worthy of that, do you feel?
Yeah, I think they would. I don't think either side has deserved to win the game. There hasn't been enough creativity, there hasn't been enough flair, finesse, all the things you want to see in a game of football in an attacking sense. Not defensively, both have been okay. Both goalkeepers have been really untested, so I think that just tells you between the boxes in the game has been a bit scrappy. There's no doubt it's lacked quality throughout.
Sure has. 5 minutes have almost come and gone of injury time as the ball's knocked out of play for a Rangers throw-in, but it's deep inside their own half. Giga goes back to Butland with a throw, and it's got to go right upfield here. Butland waving everyone forward as he fires it as long as he possibly can up towards Majowski. Flick on. There's Diamondi inside the box. He goes down, headed away there, only half clear. Comes to Gassama, edge of the box, just helps it back in. Fernandes is still up there, gets the header down, but it's whacked away by the Falkirk defence high up in the air, and now Giga's got a bit of defending to do here up against Arfield. Last few seconds, Giga throws it back the way to Raskan. Again, it's got to go forward quickly. It's Magoma. Oh, it's full time. Well, it's a familiar sound around Ibrox this season. A chorus of boos to greet another disappointing result for the home side. No goals, very little threat, not a great amount of inspirational play, and Falkirk, good value for the point that they will leave with. They too lacked a little bit of spark up front and didn't do enough for the 3 points, but they will certainly take the point, which continues their good start to the season. But Rangers failing to win yet again here at Ibrox, and Danny Rule, who had been looking to become just the 5th Rangers manager to win his first 5 in the league, has failed to do so. And more questions than answers still for the Rangers management team. Really disappointing afternoon of football here at Ibrox. Chances few and far between. Into the second half you had a couple of chances for Falkirk as Butland was closed down by Aguiman, and Rangers eventually scrambled it clear. Butland denied Aguiman again just a minute later before Gassama went up the other end and had a shot saved by Bain. Williams had an effort pushed away, but really I'm clutching at straws in terms of listing these opportunities because they weren't particularly clear cut, and that's why it finishes at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Falkirk 0.
This Scottish